Jeez, that's a horrible sight. Look at that. Yikes. Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series 2-pack, the fan channel exclusive second pack of Squadron Supreme. Here we have Nighthawk and Blur, basically an evil Justice League. So we did have a previous 2-pack that included Hyperion and Dr. Spectrum. Here, the Hyperion figure is pretty cool. The Dr. Spectrum figure is not, but it's pretty cool to be rounding out a team relatively soon. So here we have Nighthawk and Blur. Power Princess is going to be coming. It looks like it was just revealed. Well, it was revealed at Comic-Con, but the wave information was just revealed within the Void Build-A-Figure wave. I think the expected release is going to be like January. I think early 2024. I don't think it's going to make it this year. But rounding out the team relatively quickly, which is pretty cool. So here we have Nighthawk and Blur. If you would have seen the quick little clip at the beginning of the video, yes, half of Nighthawk's face was not glued down properly. I simply just pushed it back in and it kind of holds. I'll put some glue in there. It's going to be good to go. This 2-pack is an interesting one. I don't think it's going to be a real popular one. I think the first one sold decently well, probably because of Hyperion. I don't know if Blur and Nighthawk are going to be enough to sell it though. We have gotten a previous Nighthawk figure before, but it is a different version of Nighthawk, obviously. So, you know, not the same, but, you know, again, a second Nighthawk figure. And we do get some accessories. So we have these, I don't know what they're called for Nighthawk. I don't know. They're obviously batarangs because, you know, he's an evil Batman. But he has 3 of them. He doesn't have grip hands to hold them. You kind of have to squeeze that into his in between fingers and stuff to get him to hold that. And he has this other, like, open hand. Otherwise, he has fists, and then Blur comes with extra hands as well. Out of the package, he has fists, and then I have like these open hands here. He doesn't have the sprinting or swimming hands, which I thought was kind of interesting. You would think he would have come with those, but unfortunately, he did not. Looking at the package, we got the Squadron Supreme logo there. We have the artwork on the side of Blur and Nighthawk there, looking pretty cool. As you can see, everything that they come with. Not a huge amount of stuff. So again, Squadron Supreme of America. The team is getting rounded out relatively quickly. Let's go ahead and get in for the closer look at these figures, and we'll go through the articulation. Hopefully a pretty short video for you guys. Okay, so here we have Nighthawk. Here, the up-close look. Again, you know, the face, yes, mine was partially coming off, as you can see how it's keyed in there. But I'm just going to kind of stick that back on there. I'll just glue it and it'll be just fine, as you can see there. Looks pretty good. These are definitely soft as they kind of, you know, go outwards there. He's got this big-ass cape. It's not as big as the previous Nighthawk figure that we got. It just had this insane ass cape that was just so big and just weighed down the figure like crazy. We have a much better one and a much better paint job on this one, because the orange over this blue was not good. You could see the blue bleeding through like crazy. We don't have that issue here, which is good. The cape, as you can see here, it looks pretty awesome. He's essentially, you know, Marvel's Batman. Looks pretty good. The cape does come off, as you can see. It just pegs in the back. So for the rest of it, I will actually show without. Throughout the figure, it's just mostly blue. We get black trunks, black boots, black trunks, black gloves, black for the mask and around the neck. The rest of the figure is blue with a little bit of gold paint. Not a huge amount going on. Really nothing going on in the back other than that belt. Kind of just continues throughout. But looks pretty good. This is the Vulcan Body there. So no complaints. We got the pinless joints. We got the butterfly joints. All of that good stuff going on. So there is Nighthawk. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Blur. Okay, so here's our up-close look at Blur. As you can see there, he is a speedster. He's just kind of got like these red little glasses. He's got little lightning bolts coming off of them. He is yellow and black. It almost looks like a brownish color, like a very dark brown, like a lightish black. It's not. It's weird, kind of the color, because if you look at, you know, the black on Nighthawk versus the black on Blur, they're not exactly the same. So maybe like a darkish gray, a very dark gray, if that makes sense. I think you have to have it in hand to kind of notice it. You know, I think through the video, it's probably just going to come off looking black. He's got a red belt there with a little bit of gold paint. Not a whole lot going on for the figure, but he looks pretty good. The cool thing about this is essentially Spider-Man 2099 body, but we get pinless elbows and pinless knees. We've gotten so many damn figures on the Spider-Man 2099 body, and they just didn't update it ever to do pinless and things like that. And here we have it. And pins would have been fine on this guy because it would have been all yellow. All yellow. But on this guy, the Squadron Supreme, is when we finally get it. But we couldn't get it like on Yondu and stuff like that. So it's kind of odd because like even Dr. Spectrum had, you know, pinless elbows, but he had pin knees. And then same with Hyperion, he had pinless elbows and he had pinned elbows, pinless knees. But then this round we just get all pinless. It's cool to see the update, and I hope that every figure that uses the Spider-Man 2099 body will actually now be fully pinless, you know, depending on the capacity or whatever, you know, is going on, whatever the reasoning is. I hope this is what we get from now on. I don't know that it will be every figure. I'm sure it won't be, but hopefully we will definitely see, hopefully we will see more of the pinless, but, you know, I guess time will tell, and we shall see. But yeah, there is Blur. Again, not a whole lot else going on for it, but let's go ahead and check out NIGHTHAWK and Blur's articulation. Okay, we're going to take a look at NIGHTHAWK's articulation without the cape, just because it's going to be a little bit easier to do and everything like that. So he can look up all the way, he can look down all the way. Full rotation in that head sculpt. Is there some pivot? Very, very little there. The shoulder you can get to go out and upwards a little bit. Full rotation in there. You got the butterfly joint on there, but the what's his name again? The Vulcan, the Vulcan body. The butterfly joint, for whatever reason, kind of meets some resistance. So I know there's modifications and stuff like Art with Toys has done to where you can kind of fix that because it just doesn't go back as much. You do get some crossbody in there. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend there, which is awesome. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. All hands have the standard horizontal hinge, the fists, and these open hands. We got ab crunch on this guy, so he can crunch forward that much, which is pretty good. He can crunch back that much there. There is no gold paint continuing on in there. Waist swivel, legs go out that far apart. He can't kick forward that far. Leg doesn't really go back. Got an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee. Let me get that knee there. So nice beautiful bend there at the knee. You get the calf swivel right there, mid calf. Foot hinges down. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So that is NIGHTHAWK, the Vulcan body that we have come to love. I really like it. And then here we have the 2099 body, which has always been pretty good, but updated to be pinless. Pinless elbows, pinless knees. So Blur, he can look up all the way. He can look down all the way. Does he get some pivot in there? Not really a whole lot. Full rotation in that head, of course. The arms, you can get the shoulder to go straight on out for a T-pose there. Full rotation in there. A butterfly joint that works great, because look at that arm going back. So let's compare that again to NIGHTHAWK versus Blur. It's just not, yeah. No comparison there. So we have an effective butterfly joint that actually works, which is great. And then crossbody going forward, you get to do a little bit more as well. So that is awesome. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow, which is great. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. All hands have the standard horizontal hinge on there. We have ab crunch on this guy, so he can crunch forward that much there. He can crunch back that much there, so not a whole lot, a little bit less than the Vulcan body. Waist swivel there, legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far. Leg doesn't really go back. You got upper thigh cut in there. You got a double jointed pinless knee. Let me get that top knee to bend. A little stiff, but I got it. So double jointed pinless knee there. We got the calf swivel or boot swivel, mid calf there. Foot hinges all the way down. Some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So there is Blur. Again, he's got the updated pinless, which is awesome. And you can get him into some cool running poses and things like that. So that is just a quick little thing, and I'm not very good at posing, but there you go. So with the hands that we have with NIGHTHAWK, this is definitely a problem because he can't hold these batarangs. So Hawkerangs? I guess it'd be Hawkerangs, right? Hawkerangs? I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't really hold them, so you have to kind of stick them in between the fingers, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they did it that way. But we get 3 of them. Very soft, very thin, rubbery plastic there. As you can see, there's some sculpted lines in there. They're pretty good. He just unfortunately, can't really hold them. Okay, and here we have our Squadron Supreme of America so far together. We're just missing Power Princess, and she's going to be coming soon as her packaging and everything, what wave she's going to be in has just now officially been revealed as part of Hasbro PulseCon 2023. So finishing out a team very, very quickly. I read a little bit on the Squadron Supreme of America. It sounds pretty interesting. Creations of Mephisto and things like that. So pretty crazy sounding. I've heard good things about the story. I obviously have not read it, but the figures look pretty cool. Again, Hyperion I think was a good one because people were familiar with Hyperion and wanted that figure, wanted a new Hyperion figure. I don't know that NIGHTHAWK and Blur were going to be enough in this 2-pack. Maybe they should have just done a whole 5-pack or something. I'm not really sure. Dr. Spectrum's definitely the weak link out of the bunch. Power Princess is probably going to be the best one of the 5. I do like the updates with Blur being pinless on basically the Spider-Man 2099 body, which is awesome. This NIGHTHAWK is a lot better than the previous Bucky Cap version. Again, kind of a different iteration to NIGHTHAWK anyway. But yeah, you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of the Squadron Supreme so far? What do you think of the NIGHTHAWK and Blur figures? You picking them up? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're interested in supporting the channel, hit that join button and become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.